Good evening. Welcome to Ravi Shankar Bonding Tutorial online classes. Today I am going to talk about one more important cell organelle, that is endoplasmic reticulum. Shortly it will be called as endoplasmic reticulum. It was first observed by or noticed by K.R. Porter, Clade and Fulham in the year 1945. Later on, the term endoplasmic reticulum was coined by K.R. Porter. K.R. Porter in the year 1953. Endoplasmic reticulum was lipoproteinaceous single membrane bounded tubular structures which are extended from plasma membrane of plasma membrane of cell, plasma membrane of cell to nuclear envelope of eukaryotic cells. That means, what is that meaning is, this is the eukaryotic cell. In the center we have nucleus discovered by nuclear envelope, and this is the plasma membrane. From the plasma membrane there are tubular structures will be extended to nuclear membrane. These structures are called endoplasmic reticular structures. So that means they are extended from plasma membrane to nuclear envelope throughout the cytoplasm of the eukaryotic cells. Actually, these are found in all eukaryotic cells, but in some cells like spermatocytes and adipocytes or adipose cells, in these endoplasmic reticulum are present very less. They are present very poorly in these cells. Right? And this endoplasmic reticulum, if they are present in muscle cells, if endoplasmic reticulum are present in muscle cells, then they are called sarcoplasmic reticulum. Sarcoplasmic reticulum. Sarcoplasmic reticulum. Right? And this endoplasmic reticulum can be divided into intracellular space. Endoplasmic reticulum, the intracellular space of endoplasmic reticulum can be divided. Intracellular space of endoplasmic reticulum can be divided into two. Intraluminal space, and extraluminal space. That means what? Suppose this is the cell. Here we have the reticulate structures are present. This is the reticulate structure and covered by single membrane structure, right? And this inside this cell, inside this structure, what is present there? Inside there is a space, empty space is present, right? This is called intraluminal space. This is called intraluminal space. But other than this area, this surface which is towards the cytoplasm will be called extraluminal space. Extraluminal space, that is towards the cytoplasm. Inside the membrane, the space will be called intraluminal space. Other than that surface or space which is towards the cytoplasm will be called extraluminal space. That means the endoplasmic reticulum, that is intracellular space of endoplasmic reticulum, can be divided into intraluminal space within the membrane, within the endoplasmic membrane, and extraluminal space outside the endoplasmic membrane, that is towards cytoplasm, will be called extraluminal space. And next, the structures. And structurally and functionally, the endoplasmic reticulum can be divided into endoplasmic reticulum structurally and functionally. Endoplasmic reticulum can be divided into two. They are smooth endoplasmic reticulum, rough endoplasmic reticulum. Smooth endoplasmic reticulum, rough endoplasmic reticulum. Suppose when you're talking the structure of endoplasmic reticulum, structurally endoplasmic reticulum has three important parts are present in it. What are those? See, one is cisternae. The other one will be Other one is vesicles. The third one will be tubules. Tubules are the three parts which are present in the structure of endoplasmic reticulum. Suppose when you're talking the first one, which is called cisternae, actually cisternae, these are parallel, elongated, tubular, tubular, these are called cisternae. What are this? What is the description for this cisternae? They are long, flattened, parallelly arranged, unbranched, tubular structures and having diameter of 40 to 50 nanometers. Having diameter of 40 to 50. This is the diameter. From here to here, that is called diameter. That is 40 to 50 nanometers. That's the diameter. And they are acidophilic in nature. Basophilic in nature. They are basophilic in nature. Means alkaline in nature. Alkaline in nature. These are the cisternae. What are cisternae? They are long, flattened. See, look at them. Flattened. Parallelly arranged, one after the other. And they are unbranched, tubular structures having diameter of 40 to 50 nanometers. They are basophilic in nature. There are at certain places there are some interconnections are present. There are some interconnections are present. These are cisternae. Right? Okay. Next, when talking vesicles, these vesicles are oval. See, look at them. Structurally, these are vesicles. See, look at them. These are oval, round, or spherical, membrane bounded, vacuolar structures, and they are having diameter of 20 to 500 in nanometers. And they are acidophilic in nature. Means acidophilic in nature. They are mostly present in pancreatic cells. Mostly they are present in pancreatic cells. Those structures are called vesicles. Next, tubules. These tubules are actually comparatively with a cisternae. Tubules are little differ with the cisternae. Look at them. What are the difference? Here they are unbranched, but here they are branched, reticulate, tubular structures. They are branched, reticulate, tubular structures and having diameter of 50 to 100 in nanometers. 50 to 100 in nanometers. Mostly here these tubules are having mostly cisternae than vesicles and all. That means actually these vesicles and tubules are extended or formed from the cisternae are formed. You can write here. They can be formed from cisternae. Vesicles and tubules are extended from cisternae. Tubules and vesicles are formed from cisternae. Those structures are called tubules. The structures of tubules are like this. They are reticulate structure, right? They are reticulate structures. These are reticulate structures and having diameter of, these are called tubules, and having diameter of 50 to 100 in nanometers. Cisternae having diameter of 40 to 50 nanometers. Vesicles are having diameter of 20 to 500 in nanometers, and tubules are having 50 to 100 in nanometers. These are the structural parts of endoplasmic reticulum. Endoplasmic reticulum. And then when you're talking about the biogenesis of endoplasmic reticulum, biogenesis of endoplasmic reticulum. Biogenesis of endoplasmic reticulum. The biogenesis of endoplasmic reticulum, as we were seeing that there are two, right, as according to the presence of ribosomes or absence of ribosomes. They are called smooth endoplasmic reticulum and rough endoplasmic reticulum. Smooth endoplasmic reticulum will be developed from rough endoplasmic reticulum. This is the biogenesis of endoplasmic reticulum. Whereas rough endoplasmic reticulum can be developed by nuclear envelope. They will be developed by nuclear envelope. Nuclear envelope. So these are the biogenesis of endoplasmic reticulum, right? And then when you're talking about the functionally endoplasmic reticulum are of two types, right? There are two types. What are those? One is smooth endoplasmic reticulum, that is SER, or agranular endoplasmic reticulum. Agranular endoplasmic reticulum. But well, this one is, second one is RER, rough endoplasmic reticulum, or granular endoplasmic reticulum. Why these are called smooth endoplasmic reticulum? Because on the walls of smooth endoplasmic reticulum, ribosomes are absent. They are not attached. Ribosomes are absent. They are not attached. Okay. Ribosomes are absent. Due to absence of ribosomes, even on the walls of smooth endoplasmic reticulum, riboporins. Riboporins. These are the proteins which require for attachment of ribosomes to the walls of endoplasmic reticulum. So these proteins are also absent. Right. That's why they are called smooth endoplasmic reticulum. The walls of endoplasmic reticulum are smooth. Right. And this smooth endoplasmic reticulum, they are present in adipose cells, muscle cells, leukocytes. Leukocytes means white blood cells, and glycogen storing cells. In all these cells, these smooth endoplasmic reticulum are present abundantly. This smooth endoplasmic reticulum can be involved in the formation of some important cell organelles. They are involved in the formation of some important other cell organelles, such as one of the microbody which is called sperosomes, and Golgi complex. Are formed from smooth endoplasmic reticulum. So, smooth endoplasmic reticulum, why they are called smooth endoplasmic reticulum? Because on the walls of endoplasmic reticulum, ribosomes are not attached due to lack of this riboporins, right? And that's why they are called smooth endoplasmic reticulum. They are present abundantly in adipose cells, muscle cells, leukocytes, glycogen storing cells, etc. And they are involved in the formation of other cell organelles such as sperosomes and Golgi complex. Sperosomes are one of the microbody, right? So these are about smooth endoplasmic reticulum. But whereas when you're talking about this rough endoplasmic reticulum, because on the walls of this endoplasmic reticulum, there are 80S ribosomes are present. So, for attachment of these 80S ribosomes, there are riboporins are present on the walls. Riboporins are the proteins by which 80S ribosomes can be attached to the walls of it, or otherwise called SRP. SRP is nothing but a signal recognition particle, which is nothing but ribosomes, right? Riboporins are otherwise called SRP, signal recognition particle. With the help of this, the 80S ribosomes can be attached to the walls of endoplasmic reticulum. That's why they are called rough endoplasmic reticulum, or otherwise called granular endoplasmic reticulum. In this granular endoplasmic reticulum, they are formed by cisternae than vesicles and tubules. That means endoplasmic reticulum, mostly they are formed by cisternae than vesicles and tubules. This endoplasmic reticulum can be developed by these endoplasmic reticulum can be involved in the formation of nuclear envelope. These are about functionally endoplasmic reticulum are of two types: smooth endoplasmic reticulum, or otherwise called agranular endoplasmic reticulum, rough endoplasmic reticulum, or otherwise called granular endoplasmic reticulum. Here 80S ribosomes are absent, they are not attached on the walls, that's why they are smooth. Here 80S ribosomes are present, right? So these are about endoplasmic reticulum. So in In this video, we discussed introduction part of endoplasmic reticulum and biogenesis of endoplasmic reticulum, and structurally there are of three parts: cisternae, vesicles, and tubules. And functionally there are two types: smooth endoplasmic reticulum and rough endoplasmic reticulum. All the best. And in next video, we are talking about the functions of endoplasmic reticulum. Okay, bye.